record on this computer. So welcome everyone to today's live trading London to New York crossover on the 8th of June, and let's get started. Please feel free to ask questions, otherwise I will look at the chat at the towards the end, about 10 minutes before, and let's start sharing screen. So what we said we'd do is, it's Monday, is we're going to go to the Harmonic Scanner and take a trade all the way through from seeing what's on the scanner to copy and paste the scans onto TradingView, and look at the actually how to set up a trade. So first of all, whatever we're trading, we need to look at our Forex factory. I haven't looked yet today, so Monday tentative. Oh, all there is Chinese trade balance. So there's nothing else on Forex factory. I only look at the red flag and then the grey for bank holiday. I know some of you look at the compounding effect of the orange flag news on my FX book. So if there is anything major going on, let me know. So let's come over. If you're on the 7-day free trial, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make the most of looking in the units, and there's a live traders schedule. I see Kevin, I think Kevin's on. Kevin did a very good session this morning, standing in for Paul. And when you join, or if you join, you'll come over to im.center. im.center login. And this is where we find the Harmonic Scanner, which is free, invented by the founder of the company. And it's one of our foundation stones, that and BYOB, which Kevin teaches. He developed an indicator for us, very powerful piece of software. We're very grateful to him. So come over here to the left-hand menu to Academies if you want to go through any of the learning units, and then strategies for the products that we use. And we're going to scroll down. I know it all seems a bit overwhelming when you first join, but once you've been through that grind of mastering the language, like what's a pip and all that good stuff, then you'll be well away. I'm just going to minimize that. So here is the Harmonic Scanner, and the criteria for the pitchfork strategy is we're using the hourly time frame analysis. So click on the H1, and then you can use any of the brokers down here. I start with Traders Way, as that's the main feed for the scanner. There's GBPUSD. That doesn't look very big. So we measure C to D. It has to be a minimum of 80 pips. Oh, that's just 80 pips. So we can draw that one. So if you left click on your mouse and keep your finger pressed down, that will enable you to get the screen how you want. And the same thing at the bottom, use the plus and minus so you can get a good look at it. And then what we want to make sure as the third thing is that it's moved 20 pips from the D point, and that indeed has already going up past TP1, moved 38 pips. You don't bother with the little pipette at the end. So once you've done this, the fourth thing is look bottom right to UTC, your time zone, and it needs to be set at your local time zone. So I'm in Paris time, so make sure that's the same. And then you can see my vertical bar moving across the screen. You want to line it up. Make sure you have just got the correct one up here, GBPUSD crab. And you can, there's various ways, as Paul showed us last week, very good session, various ways in which you can use the scanner. It's very flexible, so you can take this trade the scanner gives you. You can see it's working its way up to take profit one. You can take a 25 to life trade off the D point, put a simple fib on it with the settings, and you can use the pitchforks that I use. So now we're going to write down GBPUSD, I always write it down on my piece of paper because it's easy sometimes to get a little bit confused. So X point, look at the bottom, it says 5th of June 1900 on my local time. If you're in the UK, it would say 1800. So write that down. The A, these are the reversal points, the highs and lows in the market, show you how price is going to change. That's 0100 hours. The B point is 8th of June at 0300 hours. Just keep moving it across. The C point, 8th of June at 0600. And finally, the D point at 8th of June at 12. And once you've done that, I don't think I've got it open up here. Come over to your trading view and open up GBPUSD. You'll have yours on the right probably. I've just got mine on drop downs. There it is. And again, you want your time zone on your trading view. Sorry, it's just a little bit slow to load. To be the same as your local time zone. Sorry, so that's UTC plus 2. I just got a bit distracted then. Then come here, top left, go to the hour, because if you remember, we were looking at the hourly. Sorry about this. This might put off newcomers. Hang on a minute. Object tree. Let me just go and tidy this up, and I'll hide these for the purposes of this.
That's what I call a chart, Sarah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So I switched them back on because I can't remember why now. Now I wish I hadn't. Looks like a cake or something. Yeah, you don't need all this going on. It'd be a bit like driving, you know, and you wouldn't know which way you meant. That happened to me the first time I came over in the car and got down to this big roundabout in Limoges, and I think I was a bit tired, and there's like all these people coming at me, and I literally just froze. It's a bit like that. I just couldn't think what to do. It's very odd. Hide that. Okay, so let's take off the quarter theory as well, which is one of the confirmations on this strategy, and take off the, there we are. So have a nice clean chart, and we're on the hourly, and there's more of them here, a lot of scans. If I was as clever as Chance, he's got two sets. They have their TV ones, which they use, and then they have another one, but I've got everything on one. And the other thing I was thinking of doing, I see TradingView offers two-factor authentication to secure your charts, and I think I must switch that on, because I thought if for some reason I lost all this, I don't know what the hell I do. So 1 hour time frame up there. We're looking for highs and lows in the market, and our X point is the 5th of June. So it's up here. And just refresh your memory if you come back. There's the X. This is going to be a buy scan, or it is a buy scan. So the X point is going to be down with the D, down with the D. Hang on a minute. Let me just have a look at this. Okay, that's a live trade I've got going on here. I'm in USD JPY for a sell, and it's just gone off on my, so excuse me a moment, I haven't moved to another screen, so let me just stop share, otherwise you'll see my thing, won't you, which wouldn't be a good idea. And let me just put share screen. And I've set the, that's gone back up. Anyway, I've set the take profit down here, but we'll see what it does. So I'm okay, I'm safe on that one at the moment. Right, sorry about that. All part of me trying to move towards actually doing trades with you. Back to where we were, GBPUSD and X point 5th of June at 1900. So you're looking for highs and lows. So it's going to be, there it is. Here. So there's your low point. So you can do this in two ways. You can literally, neither's right nor wrong, it's just the way your brain works. You can look for the lows and highs. You can see it there. Low, high, low, high, low. Or you might prefer to get the brush. So you can just approximately mark it up, 5th of June at 1900. In fact, it's there, isn't it? Let me just get rid of that. 5th of June at 1900, there. 8th of June at 0100, your next high. It's going to be that one. Sorry, there. 8th of June at 0300, the next low. There. 8th of June at 06. It's going to be that little one there. And then 8th of June at 12. It's only barely the 80 pips, that's why it's a bit small. It's 80.3 pips. And there's that on, and then we'll get the scanner icon. Let me just get rid of that brush mark, which is here. It's that little scan symbol on your left-hand menu. So come to that, you just want the top one, XABCD, it's the 5 reversal points. Come back to your scan, make sure your magnet's on because it must be sucked onto the end of the wick. And then 5th of June at 1900, that's that one. And you can see it comes up with A on my screen, so don't be confused, you've got 5 points held on your mouse. So I've just clicked once. I made this mistake many times when I first started, kept getting very confused. So that's why the A is showing on top of it. It's the next point to be put on, and we want the 8th of June at 01, where that next brush mark is. Go down to the next brush mark, 8th of June at 0300, and I usually check the timestamp at the bottom, make sure, and then that's on that little one there, 0600, and then 8th of June at 12. So once you've put that on, I like to go back to the object tree, and I like to clean up the charts. I know it didn't look like I did when we first came on, but it's all old scans. And I just come back, because that's the thing about pitchforks, they're valid forever. I like to, price will move in and out of them over weeks or months. So I don't really need them all switched on, but sometimes I have old scans on where I've got a pitchfork that might be coming through it, because it will be a stall out area. So once you've drawn it on, just go back and have a look and see that it conforms to the same shape. You can see that looks good. And then come back to the left to this pitchfork symbol, top left on your menu, like a little trident. And again, you just want the top one. I've kept them on favorites with a yellow star. So if I'm on the indicators, then here are my favorites. So you can see I've got Kevin's excellent software he designed for us. This is a team exclusive. You won't get this anywhere else. An Indicator Plus, highly, highly accurate. You get the extra green dot on that one, so you get fewer setups, but extremely accurate. That one, you've got more setups coming through, but it doesn't have the awesome oscillator and the MACD combined on it. So very good indeed. So here's the pitchfork. Again, the magnet on. Use it on the X point there, X to C to D, and then I like to have mine in white on my most recent scans, and if you right click over any of the lines of the scan and click on settings, go to style, and if you click on these give you like the Bollinger Bands, the Fibonacci's, the outer extensions here, and they should act like the Bollinger Bands do, like elastic, pinging price back into the scan. So once we've got that drawn on nicely, this is the only fiddly bit about pitchforks. And you need to come down to the 1 minute. Now, if it's a very big scan, TradingView will only will only let you go back in time for about 2 weeks. So do as much as you can on the 1 minute to make it most accurate on the lowest or highest point. You can see it looked accurate on the hourly, but there's 60 candles in that 1 hourly candle, and here is the lowest one. So again, the magnet on, and it's just the pitchfork that matters. I usually pull the drawing across, but you don't have to have the drawing on, it's the pitchfork that counts. And this is why it needs to be accurate, because they are built with Fibonacci in them, the magic numbers, and it will be accurate forever once they're drawn on properly. If you left it like this on the hourly, then over a period of time, the angle would widen and you'd be 50, 60 pips off, making it untradeable, because that's why we can get away with a 10 pip stop loss, because we're very accurate with the stop loss off the pitchfork. So there's the highest one. If you're in doubt, I draw a little horizontal line and I can see which one is the highest, but that one I can see is the highest. So that's on there. Hang on, I tell a lie. Yes, that's it. It's the drawing that isn't on properly. And then back down to the B. You can see how far off it is, up to the A. And if you're worried about slipping, you can put the padlock on as well down here while you're moving things around. You see, then it can't glitch when you're pulling it off to the other points. So there's the highest for the A, is that little blue one. And then down to the X, and that's going to be that one there. And there's the X point. So once I've got that drawn on, you're good to go. And then back to the object tree, and then you'll see the padlock is open and you want to lock it, and then they can't move, they can't glitch on you. So just lock them on, come back to the hourly, and I'm a bit slower doing this because you do speed up, but it's because I'm on this sort of talking about it. If I'm on my own, I can draw them a lot quicker. So there's our scan. So to look at this for a setup, we'll come down to the 1 minute. And see what's going on. So on this strategy, we have our moving averages. So we put back on our 62, which is the current trend in the market. So you can see it's now moved up above the 62, which is acting as a floor. It's rejected once, twice, 3 times off that pitchfork by 16 pips, and we like one of our confirmations is a 10 pip break and retest. So that is looking very good. Let's put the 15-minute one on, and it's coming up to meet that, which is another one. You can see it crossed down there for the sell, stayed under, tested it. So it broke and retested the pitchfork. It tested the 62. It'll often do that. Came right down through the pitchfork, broke and retested it. Don't know why it came above there. Right back down to form the, because it's still quite far off the 62 there. There might be a quarter theory there. That might be why. right down to the D point, and now it's starting to play out. You know, it's reversed, it's finished its Elliott wave move. And then we'll put the quarter theory on, my favourite. And that may well have been why it slipped through quarter theory. It rejected off, so that's why it didn't make it all the way back up to the 62 there. So what have we got here? Well, this has been a very good move because you've got quarter theory there as well. So that was a very nice setup there. And you could have put, let's see if that works, if we put a fib on to show you, because you need 3 confirmations. So if we put the fib on the D point up to, that doesn't work, didn't work on this occasion. Need to see a reversal point down to the 61 or down here, and it hasn't done that. So if you were looking at it like that, then you know, that's normally what I'd be looking for, is to use these as ping points to boomerang it up. Equally we could do, no, we can't do that. That doesn't work either. So let's put a trend line on it. And let's see if it's following. So you want as many touches as possible. So I quite like the look of that. One, two. You can either come out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 touches there. So that's quite nice. And if we put that like that. Now we're just coming into New York, you can see here, and we've just passing the 30-minute candle. So let's have a look and see what the 30-minute candle says. Candle close, the wicks tell the story, remember. So if we come over here, so here we can see we had an engulfing buy candle, we had a doji rejection of the quarter theory, and the opening of the 30-minute is a sell candle. So not a lot of wax on the candles, and it's rejected off the 62 on the 30 minutes. So it's just kind of warming up. That's the 15 minutes, just so you can see how you can see more detail as you go down the time frames. So at the moment, it's still under the 62 on the 5-minute, but it's rejected, continued to reject off both quarter theory and the pitchfork. And I'm going to put a slider bar on in a minute. And this is looking at the 1-minute. And it's, if it holds that 62, mind you, it's now broken the trend line. So that's not a good sign if it breaks and retests the trend line and breaks through. But it does seem, although it's slipping, it seems to be holding. So this is the thought process I go through when I'm looking at taking a trade. And if I look at trying to put a trend line on that way, it's not so easy for me to, oh, I suppose it would have been that. Just to show you where to get in. So that, I've got some touches down there. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got quite a lot of touches there. And what did price do? It did do a little break and retest there. Seems to be just moving along sideways at the moment. And if we put the slider on, so if you'd got in, you wouldn't have got in until it had said it had come above the 62. So just double check that. It did a break and a retest. Hang on, get that accurate there. There's the break and the retest, 16 pips. So it's done a break and a retest there. It of both the quarter theory and the pitchfork. Personally speaking, I probably wouldn't have got in until here, which was at the 115 candle in the UK. So if I'd got in there, which is about there, and I would have waited until you saw not a sell candle, but a blue buy candle, okay? Depending on what color candles you use. So I'm just trying to give you a complete run through. So there's that blue buy candle there at 118. I wouldn't have got in on that green one, because why would you? I try not to get in, you know, if the price is moving in the opposite direction. So blue candle up, green one down, almost engulfing, and then the blue one engulfs it again. So that would have been my entry point at 1.26558. Settings, 1.26558. And then I put I just set it like that, but obviously I'm looking at levels. And that's the setup, okay? And then this is just the way I like to work. You don't have to do all this, but horizontal line, 558, so 568 is one pip there, which is where I put my stop profit in, and then I clone it. And if I got in at 558, then it would be 658 would be my 658 there is my 10 pips, add alert, and that would be that's my, where I do put it on, I do change the writing here. I just put stop profit in, then I just take my phone with me with my trading view, and I know to come and change that. So that's how I take a trade. It's moving a little bit slowly, and sometimes I put on the hull, although we only use that for exits. And I would have done it before I was in the trade, obviously. So that's quite reassuring, because on the 15-minute it's still in green. So it's a lagging indicator. So you can see, although on the 1 minute it was still red, it's still saying green on the 15-minute, and then the 1 minute changes about 30% in to green. We don't mind, we don't come out on a small flip, but like this, if I'd been in this for a sell and it did a long flip, not even that long, but short flips we don't mind so much, but if it's a long flip, then two flips, little flips we don't mind, but long flips wear out the trade. So that's it really. That's how to do it. We can look at putting on another one, or JPY, a cipher pattern. Check the time zone. Measure C to D. 59. No. USD CAD, that has failed. Failed scan, gone right off stop loss. That's market open. Don't get involved in that. And that one has completed successfully. So if you want to look at the scanner and work out what price does, you can go back through old ones. They'll get older, and then they drop off the bottom. So you can see that completed, and that took how long to complete? That took 3 days, 17 hours to complete. I don't hold trades like that. I like to work off the 10 pip stop loss to the levels, but you know, very nice scan on that one. So let's have a look on the 30. Well, we could have a look, see if there's anything different. FX choice, GBP, JPY. See how long that is, how big that is. C to D. Oh, that's 103. So we could put that one on. Don't think I've got that one. Well, I won't have because I haven't done any this week. I was going to do some last night. I was doing the joys of the French tax return. So how far has that moved off the D point? That's fine. That's moved over 40 pips. So write down GBP, JPY. Make sure your time zone is the same as your local time zone. This is an H1. So X is 5th of June at 22. A, 8th of June at 0100. B, 8th of June at 0300. C, 8th of June at 07. D, 8th of June at 12. And as I say, you can use these to do a 25 to life, 2 candles to the left or right once it's formed that structure. So once this hourly candle has completed, you can look at which is the second candle, and then you're drawing the fib. It's a different fib, 1 fib with 4 settings, and your stop loss is the D, and it's going to do a breakout of the 0, and then once it's broken out of the 0, then you set your buy limit, and it will come and hit the 25, and then it takes off to the take profit 3 at the 75. So it's very, very simple trade that you can take, or you can take this one off the scanner, or you can come over and draw it on here. That's NZDJPY. I'm not in this, but that is the reason I've got it marked up, is I was looking at that as a trade. So that's your pitchfork. The only thing I don't like about it is your 62 is still above your blue 15-minute. So I don't like that. I know I can see it dropping, but you want to see that 62 cal round. But it's done the break and the retest off the pitchfork, and it's now breaking. It's breaking this 1 minute trend. Sorry, we've got a bit interrupted, but it was the other one that I was looking at with someone else yesterday. There. Let me just magnify that for you. If you're looking at this for a trade. Remove that for a minute, so that you can see. And we are taking off. So a bit late to get in on that now. Off that pitchfork. So you've got the break and the retest. The only thing I don't like is that's saying buy when price is above the orange, but it is curling back round. It may well come back up and give you another opportunity for entry. How many pips has that dropped off the pitchfork? 9.2. So I reckon that might come back for you. And let me just get this on a bit better. Oh, let me draw a new one. That one. So let's get a trend line. There. So you've got your break and your retest of trend line off the 1 minute, one of our confirmations. I've got the touches I like. The trend, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got them all along there. You've got your break and your retest of your 1 minute trend. You've got it under the 62. It may just come up to that the blue 15 minute, or it may come all the way back up to the pitchfork. The only thing I don't like is it's quite far apart from the quarter theory, and that's not my ideal trade. I like the two barriers, as you know, so it's entirely up to you what you think of it. But that does look quite nice. Let's have a look at that. That'd be 6.8, and if it comes up to the pitchfork, 9.5. So there's a little sell set up, I reckon. And where is the MTFA? See what that band shows us. That's still saying green. So that could be because we're coming up to the end of the hour. It might turn after that. As you know, I don't like to get into trades the last 10 minutes of the hour. So that would put me off, seeing that was in green. And New York usually moves into the next session, so just after between 2 and 4. So keep an eye on that one as a sell. So I think I'll just write that down on NJ. Although I'm not so keen on that, I have to say, and I don't really like putting a bigger stop loss on, but I'm going to put this one down. 71.472 stop loss. Entry, was it just going to drop down, not do it, but 71.359, and take profit down at, let's do that, 1.70, try that. Oh, GU's going off now. Hang on, check the settings. I'll leave it at that. 71.466, 71.366, and the 20 would be 71.166. But remember, both these are Asian session pairs, so that's another thing might put me off. But those are your levels down to that 71.000 for a take profit zone. Really, it shouldn't stop in the middle there. But that's a little summary of that one. We got a little bit diverted. So back to why was GU going off? Oh, there you are. I don't know if anyone got into that one. Look at that. USD JPY is going off now. So that's down at my 20 pips take profit. So hang on a minute. Just stop sharing for a minute, sorry. Let me just pull my stop loss down to 10 pips. And I'll leave it there. 10. Okay. Right, let me come back to share screen. Okay, so we'll just go, there you are. That was a nice trade, wasn't it? GBPUSD. That's the kind of trade I like, because that would have got in there, just where that blue candle. It didn't quite make the 20 pips, but that's 5 minutes. That's just shot up 15 to 20 pips, and there's the pitchfork it's rejecting off. So it could just be stalling out, and then it's going to carry on. And it is weird once it gets to that last 10 minutes of the hour on that one. Right, so let's go back to what we were drawing up. We'll just draw up this last one. If anyone's got any questions, fire away. So I'm going to do GBPJPY. There. So I'm just going to do this on Mondays, guys, where we go to the scanner and take through sort of new charts, or actually how to draw it up, just on a Monday. Friday afternoon, I'll do the special session again at 3 p.m. UK time. And again, if anyone wants me to draw scans on that session, that's entirely fine. Just come to the hourly. Oh dear, this is another one with all my stuff on it. Just hide a load of it. I think I'm going to have to keep most of them switched off. This is silly if we come on a live and it looks like that. Get that faded out a bit. I might keep that green one in the background. Okay, so on the hourly, and I'll just fade that one, fade that there, and take off the, just hide that while we draw it. There, okay. So we were looking for this on the scanner. This is a buy scan, so we've got the X at the bottom, the same as the D. So wherever your D point is, if you're a bit confused, just think about it. The X should be on the same sort of level. So we're looking, and as I say, you can draw it in 2 ways. I won't put the brush marks on for this one because of time, but you're just looking for highs and lows. So the X is the 5th of June at 22. Make that a bit bigger. Make sure you're on your correct time zone locally, bottom right. Make sure you're in the same time frame, top left, and you've got the correct pair drawn up there. And make that bigger. So 5th of June at 22. Some of the scans are bigger than this. 12. It's that one there. So low to high to low. Hang on, to get the thing. start off with that. 5th of June at 22, make sure the magnet's on. 5th of June at 22 there, just click once. 8th of June at 01 is going to be that high point for the A point. The B point, the 8th of June at 03. There, you look at the bottom, you can just click once when you see that, if you've got the magnet on. The C, the 8th of June at 07, is going to be one of those. That's that little blue doji one. And the D, the 8th of June at 12. That's there. Once you've got that on, check back and just make sure it looks. Let me just hang on, do this. I had it faded out. I like mine bright pink. So just have a look back at your scanner. Yes, that looks good. Come to the left, go to your pitchfork, the top one. Make sure the magnet's on. Click it on the X and it'll suck it to it. Then to the C, down to the D. So the magnet will draw it onto the end. I like my latest ones in white. And once you've got that on, X, C, D, come down to the 1 minute. There. It's a little bit slow. And you can see, although it looked good on the hourly, and you can see there's two candles very similar, but you've got a little wick at the bottom on that one. So that's going to be the one you choose, the lowest one. There. You don't have to bother about the drawing being so accurate. And make sure you don't pull it off its spot. Again, here you can see the same things happened on the hourly. It looked like it was on the hourly candle, which it was, but because there's 60 minutes in a candle and we need our pitchforks to be precise, we need to pull it over. And then sometimes I click that padlock on and then click it off again. And then here, now this is a bit more difficult. So this is where I get a horizontal line. And if you do that, well, this is one where you just can't tell the difference. So you can choose either, obviously. So I'm just going to pull that to there. They're both exactly the same, which is a bit unusual. And then up to the A point. Again, you've got two there, the same, exactly the same. So I'm just going to pull the A point to that one there. And then the X is going to be that green one. I think it's because it was sort of a smaller scan. They looked a bit off. Object tree, and again, get the padlock locked on the pattern and on the pitchfork, and then you're good to go. So we'll just come back to the hourly, because I see if anyone's got any questions, that's fine. Just want to see if we can get this marked up for you. There we are. So we switch back on our orange line, price is moving above it, and it's rejected, it's broken and retested the pitchfork. We need to measure how many pips, and the 15-minute, the blue one. So it's not come up to meet it yet. The break and the retest off the pitchfork is has been 10.4, so that's 2 confirmations met. So number 1, pitchfork touch, correct. Break and retest by 10 pips, correct. Above the 62, correct, and it is a buy scan. Now we need to see what our quarters theory is doing. And that's very interesting because it's kind of in this wedgie thing. So I'm not so keen on that now. I've seen where quarter theory is, to be honest. GBP is a London pair, Asian session for JPY. I only take this pair because it's volatile. If it's a perfect setup, that is not a perfect setup. And I'm not really interested in that until I can get my stop loss somewhere. There are good pips to be made on this pair, but not, I don't want to take it unless I'm able to cover quarter theory in the pitchfork by 15 pips and have a 20 pip gain up to sort of that pitchfork. So as we move through New York, then I don't trade Asian session anymore, but I wouldn't be looking for that until I was in Asian session, or at least until I can get price up here like this. So coming up here and then up to those levels there, and being able to cover these two. That's the next, that's that pitchfork there. There we are. And it's only taking buy trades until it hits this one, the median line. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now. That is everything for today. We're just coming up to out of time. Let me just check the chat. Quite a lot in the chat. In case you want to miss this message on Pip Talk, the psychological. Oh, thanks very much, Bran. Brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Bran. I've missed that as well. Do you know what time that is, Bran? Is that at like 8 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. UK time?
It's it's regular time. It's like 2 Eastern.
Oh, thanks a lot. Brilliant, brilliant. I prefer writing the 5 points down on a scrap of paper. Me too. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I always do it. Which pitchfork fibs do you use? Let me just quickly show you. If you want to take a screenshot, the fib settings.
I answered that question for Kevin.
Oh, you're wonderful. What a star. Sorry. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Pitchfork fibs. Pitchforks, yes. Many thanks. Most of us make the 0.5 fib. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, then visually, you're not kind of having to do any extra thinking, particularly as it's a precise strategy on the 1 minute, which enables you to get 10 pip stop loss. You know, you've got to be bang and go take that shot. Magnet tool has a second setting for a stronger magnet. It automatically moves to the wick of the candle you're hovering on. I didn't know that. It's got a stronger setting. Where's that? How do you set it on a stronger setting?
When you go to the magnet tool, you'll see the tiny little arrow. If you click on that, it drops down another menu, sort of like when you pick the pitchfork tool or whatever.
Oh, do you know? Well, you learn something every day. Do you keep yours on strong magnet then?
Yeah, I've been playing around with that. It's I find it's a tad easier.
Yeah, I like that.
Well,
brilliant.
Test it out, see what you prefer.
I certainly will. Okay, we're just on the 3 o'clock, so I don't want to be rude and cut across other. Going to stop the recording.